You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You're watching The Listening Mentor. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I am thrilled to be here Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for an 8-minute overview about something having to do with listening and relationships. Today, I'm going to give you part 1 of strategic tips to help you be a more effective communicator. So today is part 1, tomorrow is part 2, and then on Friday I will be taking your questions. So I would love to hear from you. I'm going to put up my banner. Please do email me with any questions that you have when it comes to listening, how to listen, how to have more effective relationships. I am a certified holistic life and career coach. I left the corporate world last year and actually ventured out to get my certifications. I'm also a certified meditation coach and also a certified yoga sculpt instructor. Okay, so let's get right to it. So I'm going to share 5 tips today. So if you are communicating with someone and let's say someone is actually speaking to you, how can you be an effective communicator? Tip number 1, look at the person. I've seen so many situations where one person's talking to the other and they sort of have their shoulder, they have their back to them, looking over. Oh, yes, okay. No, actually look at the person dead on. Let them know that you are there. The second thing is to be attentive with your body language as opposed to being, I'm sure you've seen this, closed off, defensive, closed off. Be relaxed, but be attentive. So look them in the eye and then be relaxed and be attentive. And this also is if you're in the audience. Let's say you're going to a TEDx talk, whatever the case may be. Actually look at the speaker and sit up straight and be attentive, but at the same time, not robotic. The next thing, tip number 3, is to be present without judgment. So just keep an open mind when you're listening to someone. So quickly we move into judgment mode, or we shut off because somebody said something that didn't sit well with us. And so then we're already thinking about how we're going to come back at them for what they said. The next thing is try to imagine being in their shoes. So as they're sharing whatever it is, whether it's a presentation or whether this is a personal conversation or a business conversation, try to put yourself into their shoes to understand their perspective. And tip number 5 is please do not interrupt. How many times have you been in a conversation with someone that it could be a one-way conversation? You're trying to get a point across and the other person continuously interrupts you. Now, why does that happen? Okay, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but typically because the other person is feeling threatened or they're feeling lack of confidence, or they're very angry. They're angry about something that you said. They feel like they're not being heard. So let's just review the tips again. These are tips to help you be a more effective communicator. Part 1 today, part 2 tomorrow, part 3 on Friday, where we take your questions. I'm streaming across my contact information, Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com. Please do send me your questions. I don't have to read your name out loud. I'll just share that this question came from the audience. The first thing is be attentive, looking someone in the eye, letting them know that you're there. The second is let your body language reflect the fact that you are paying attention to them. I mentioned before, so many times people have their back to you, they're half looking over. No, be full on present. Next is try to keep an open mind. So whatever it is the person's going to talk to you about, This is really important, especially the world we live in today. We have people who are polar opposite in their viewpoints, whether it's climate change, the price of gasoline, politics. There's so many things that we're on opposite ends, vaccinations. Try to keep an open mind, because if you don't do this, it's just going to be an argument. And if it's an argument, then that's not going to benefit either one of you. So sometimes hearing someone else's perspective is not only respectful, but you can learn something from it as well. Okay, the next thing is try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Maybe what they're sharing with you has to do with something that they've been through or something that they know that you don't know. So just try to think of yourself as them for the moment. And then finally, I think this is so important. Please do not interrupt someone when they're speaking. Now, something that I really like to do, I shared this tip last week, is first of all, I'd like to make sure that when I'm coming to someone to share something, that this is actually a good time. So here's one tip that I do. If I'm going to speak to someone on the phone and I have something that I really want to get off my chest, I will call them and say, Susan, I really need to speak to you about something. Do you have 5 minutes right now? Actually, I don't have 5 minutes. I'm in the middle of doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, what would be a good time for us to have this conversation? Oh, is there something wrong? What is this? Do you want to have an argument with me? Sometimes you'll get that kind of feedback and you can start to feel out how that person's going to respond. That also applies when you're meeting with someone in person. And this happened to me. Husband comes home from work. So what's going on? Meanwhile, I wanted dive right into whatever it was. And he wasn't ready because he just got back from work. So I had to pay a lot of money in therapy to realize that give the person time to unwind. Make sure that you ask, is this an appropriate time for us to speak? And finally, if it's not, schedule time. And when you schedule time, remember the 5 tips that I gave you today. I promise you, your interaction with that person will be at a much higher level. They will respect you for giving them your attention. They will respect you for having empathy and understanding, or trying to understand where they're coming from. And most importantly, you will not have interrupted them so that you can take the floor. And I'm going to get into this tomorrow, but one more tip, which is try to listen by being fully present. And I do this in my shows. I've said this before. I don't have a script. If I had a script, it would be like this. Oh, okay. I didn't think she was going to say that. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought okay. No, just be present and not coming to a judgment or something that you want to interject because you want the floor. This happens all the time. Somebody's telling a story. I bought this new car and this happened. Oh, you know what? I bought a new car and the same thing. And now you take over the floor and that person is still there with what they want to share. But now you took that opportunity away from them. So I hope that you found this helpful. Please do come back tomorrow for part 2. And again, Friday for answering your questions. Please send me your questions related to relationships and or listening. And my final thing I want to share with you today is I'm so excited about this because we've extended the early bird pricing deadline. I am hosting a seminar. This seminar is called The Power of Listening. And this is a seminar literally for everyone. If you want to be an effective listener, if you want to have better relationships, this is not something I just dreamed up, okay? If you want to have better relationships, deeper connections, you want to be more successful personally and professionally, the art and power of listening is a skill that you can learn. So I'm offering $30 for you to actually attend this. How can you book? Go over to my Instagram, which is Dr. Jacalyn, 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 and you can book for $30 until next week. So that is $30 until Saturday, actually. I'm sorry about that. Till Saturday. Okay, so my goal is to help people be more effective communicators. It has helped me greatly in my career. I thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Please help spread the word and tell your friends about what it is that we're doing here, trying to help people become effective listeners, better leaders, better friends, better lovers, better partners by listening more effectively. Thank you again. I will see you tomorrow. We've got a full lineup of shows. I hope that you'll join us. Go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and subscribe so that you can watch all of our content. If you want to be a guest, go to our website, drjacalyn.com. Book your session. Thank you for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.